Beautiful people, what's going on? Beautiful people, what's going on? What's going on? How are you guys doing? Beautiful people, what's going on? I thought, yeah, it's the phenomenal STEMist. I'm glad to see you all. It's been a while. I was supposed to come on last week, but what had happened was, what had happened was, anybody with me? I'm checking to see. I don't see anybody watching yet. Talking about wrong steps in saving. Wrong steps in saving. I hope all is well for everyone. It's the phenomenal STEMist. And we're talking about wrong steps in saving. Yep. Okay. Well, whoever comes on, comes on. Whoever comes on, comes on. I looked at two um, papers or journal articles, and when I looked at the journal articles, I noticed that many people are having problems saving. Many people are having problems saving. And the first article was from acorns.com. 53% of people saving for retirement are making the same mistake. What is that mistake? They use a regular savings account. They use a regular savings account. Like I'm saying, guys, what are you guys saving? 53% of Americans, when they save their money, they're just using a savings account. They're not putting money in a Roth IRA. They're not putting money in a 401k, 403b. They're not putting money in a stock market individual account. They are putting money in savings, like literally savings, savings that the bank will take, and after they take your money, they go and invest it. They're not You're not putting money in investments in a house. You're putting money in something that is giving you point zero 0.01. I told you my biggest mistake was investing in a CD, and that's a CD gives more than savings. And I literally put $1,000 in the CD in a 2000. I finally took my money out. I was tired of seeing it not do anything. I, it This thing gave me $100. 20 years. 20 years, guys. 20 years. I only made $100 on my CD. And a CD gives more than savings. Just think about it. If I had put $1,000 in Apple, if I had put $1,000 in a low cost index fund in 2000, my God, let me actually look that up. Let me look that up. How much was Apple? I'm not gonna do it right now, but I'm gonna put it in the comments. Somebody, how much was Apple in 2000? And if I had put $1,000, bought 1,000 shares of Apple, how much money would I have today or 2020? Right? or 2019. I think it was 19 years. I think I took it out in 2019. But you get my point. I'm gonna do that math and I'm gonna post it. Savings, you shouldn't have more than. I'm not gonna tell you what to have in savings, but you should not saving only in a savings account, a regular savings account. All right. So, what are the mistakes? Seven silly mistakes that Americans are making. Seven silly mistakes that Americans are making. All right. So, like I said before, Americans aren't saving, and when they are saving, they're putting money in a regular savings account. I told you in 2000, I put money in a regular, not even a little more than savings, but it's still bad in my opinion. I got $100 after about 20 years. $100 in 20 years. That's $5 a year. $5 a year. I made interest on my $1,000. Right? $100 would have been 10%. $10 would have been 1%. So I made 0.5% interest when I put my money in a CD. Meanwhile, they took my $1,000, they lent it to somebody, and made 30% on that $100,000 per year. They made 30% and gave me 0.5. I'm just like, every time I think about it, it angers me. But that was me at 20 years old. See, the good thing about it was I had enough sense to save at 20 years old. You see, some of y'all don't even have enough sense to save. So I'm not even mad at 20-year-old me. I'm mad at the process, and I wish I knew the process. But unfortunately, I wasn't taught the process. But I'm teaching you now, and I'm teaching your children now, I hope. Please, when your children get saved for $1,000, please don't put it in a savings account. Please put it in the stock market. What are the seven silly mistakes? Seven silly mistakes. Number one. The first mistake that Americans make is that they don't know their interest rate. They don't understand that. They don't know that their interest rate is 0.01%. I told you, or 1.1%. I told you my CD, my little $500, $5 a year, my $5 a year in interest in my CD is still better than your $1 a year. Because that's the interest rate you get for saving. 0.1%, not 0.5%, $5 a year. 0.1. So when you put $1,000 in a savings account, they're giving you $1. Thank you. They're giving $1, and they take your $1,000, lend it to somebody, and make $30. Matter of fact, they take it and lend it to you, because half of Alabama's have credit card debt with these same banks. Oh my God. And no one is listening to me right now. I'm speaking truth right now, and nobody's listening to me. I hope people watch this, and I hope they share it. You put your $1,000 in the savings account. You go get in credit card debt. They give you $1 for their $1,000, and you give them $30 to lend you money because you busy saving. Why you saving and got credit card debt? Pay off your credit card debt, dude. Are you listening to me? You're saving $1,000 while borrowing $1,000 with your credit card from the same bank. They're giving you $1 so that you can give them $30. What's your interest rate? If you don't know math, this is phenomenal STEMist. You got to know math. You got to know math. M for math. Number two, assuming checking and saving accounts pay the same yield. They don't. Some of you shouldn't have money in the checking account. You should only have money in your checking account for bills, for the thing, writing checks. Like, you should have the rest of your money in savings and investment. Investment. Checking accounts don't pay any interest. So if anything, you should put it in the savings, but for temporary purposes. Transfer it from savings to retirement accounts. Things that involve the stock market that give more than 0.1%. I just told you, for every $1,000 over 20 years, you put $1,000. 20 years from now, you won't get just like mine was $5 a day, you gonna get $1 a year, not $5. $1 a year times 20, you gonna get $20. You keep pushing it. You keep putting money in. For every $1,000 over 20 years, you're gonna come up with $20, and that $1,000 is not gonna be worth $1,000 in 20 years. So inflation is gonna destroy. You think you're saving? You're not saving, guys. You're not saving. The mistake is to put money in a savings account. If you some of you looking at your savings account, proud of yourself. Oh, I got $15,000 in my savings account. Yeah, you got $15,000, so you got $1,000 in 20 years, and that $15,000 is gonna be worth $8, and that $1,000 extra that you got is gonna worth $500. You get it? You're gonna lose. You're losing if you don't beat inflation. You have to save and beat inflation. What do I mean by inflation? Well, when I was 20 years ago, or when I was in 30 years ago, the gas cost $1. $1 got you some gas. $1.10, 99 cents. Now it's $3. You see what happened? The same dollar could buy you a gallon of gas 20 years ago, cannot buy you a gallon of gas today, because the dollar's not worth the same. It's a third less. So your $15,000 is not going to be worth $15,000 20 years from now. It's going to be worth $5,000. Man, I'm talking truth today. I hope people share this and watch it. $15,000 is not gonna be the same 20 years from now. So you gotta invest to the point where your $15,000 right now will be 30% increase next 20 years. So it'll just be the same. So it'll be worth the same. We're talking about the 7 ways people make the mistake. They don't know their interest rate. They don't understand math and what interest means and how it relates to your money. Number 3, sticking with a low yield savings account. That's basically what 53% of Americans are doing. 53% of Americans put their money in a low yield savings account. Why? For, I guess, feeling of security, but it's not. Because that money is not going to be worth anything. Your money needs to grow interest. If your money is not growing interest, you are losing money putting it in a bank account with low yield interest. What are the silly things they're doing? They're putting money in their checking account. And that's worse, because checking accounts don't make anything. And you're at risk of theft. More like people are stealing people's money now. They're using cards. My suggestion is that when you use debit cards, you take off the insignia of those credit cards, those MasterCard and Visa insignia, because when you have those insignias on your debit cards, people can steal your number and take your money. I don't carry much money in my checking account. There's just too much risk for theft, especially when you have those credit card insignias on your debit cards where you can use debit credit simultaneously. I don't have debit credit cards. I have debit cards with no insignia, no credit. I call my bank and tell them no, because my money got stolen 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. They took my number. They hacked. They got my number from my credit debit, and because it was a credit debit, they can just use the number and buy things with. They didn't need my PIN. So you should never have money just sit in your checking account. And if you do, you should not have a credit insignia on your debit card to risk to remove theft. It's not growing. Number five, um, using too much brick and mortar banks and not using online banks. You know, online banks that have, you know, individual retirement accounts. Online savings account have put more interest, but some of you just want to just go to the bank yourself. But brick and mortar is going to be a thing of the past. So you got to learn how to manage your money online. I think managing my money online was the best thing ever. It really gave me a high level of engagement. High level of engagement. I know where my money's coming in. I know what's going out. I know the percentages. I know, and I'm very engaged because I'm managing my money online versus brick and mortar. You don't know a lot what's going on. Number six, what are the top seven silly things people are doing? Number six, you're not automating it. Listen, take your money before you even see it. Send your money to the Roth IRA. Send your money to the individual retirement account. Send your money to the stock market portfolio before you even see it. Pay yourself first. Automate your savings. Matter of fact, direct deposit straight from your salary to your 401k. Don't even make the decision to have to make the decision to actually make it. You understand, guys? Get out of savings, please. Lastly, borrowing. Number 17, borrowing from retirement. First of all, you borrow from your retirement, you're paying penalties. You borrowing from your retirement, you're living outside of your means. Nearly 3 in 10 people early withdraw out of their retirement accounts. 3 out of 10. 30% of people put money away in a 401k, a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, and have to borrow it back. For what? If you have to borrow from your retirement, you're living outside your means. It's as simple as that. If you have to borrow from your retirement, you're living outside of your means. And you're going to look back and regret the day you borrowed from your retirement. You're going to look back and regret the day. So I said I would look up how much Apple cost in 2000. Apple stock in 2000. I'm looking it up. And it is split too. It's 134 now, but it used to be it's split multiple times. So I can't even count that, but yo, Apple stock was 80 cents. Apple stock was 80 cents. Average Apple stock price was 80 cents. So if I had bought Apple, right? 81 cents. I would have had 1,200 shares. 1,234 shares of Apple. 1,234 shares of Apple I would have with that $1,000. 1,000, and that Apple went up to $1,000. You know that, right? And it's split. So I think it split twice. So in theory, I think I would have had let's say I would have had 3,000 shares of Apple right now. Times and I'm not even talking about dividends and all that stuff, times what it is now, $134. 3,000 shares of Apple. 3,000 shares of Apple. Listen to me, guys. If I had bought Apple in 2000, $1,000 Apple shares. So I would have had, because it's split multiple times, let's say I would have had 3,000 shares by now. It's Apple shares are $134. 3,000 times, I had to do it again to make sure I'm doing the math right. I would have $400,000. That same $1,000 that I put in a CD, that same $1,000 that I put in a CD, same $1,000 that I put in the CD, that got me $100, $5 a year. That $1,000 would be worth $400,000 20 years later. Let's do Amazon. How much was Amazon? Okay. How much was Amazon? Let's do the math. Let's do the math. STEM. Math. Y'all talking about y'all don't like math? That's why y'all broke. Broke because you don't like math. You better get your kids to like math and start teaching them about the stock market. How much was Amazon stock? Amazon stock into the year 2000. Amazon stock was, I think it says $1.50. $1.50. I don't know. Don't have it here. Amazon stock was $1.50 maybe? I think it was $1.50. Alright? So let's say it was $1.50. Let's say it was $2. Right? So 1,000 divided by 2,000 is 500 shares. Okay? 500 shares. 500 shares. How much? I think it was more than that, but anyway. Amazon stock in 2000 was $1.50. It is now 3,372. Okay, so let's say 3,400 times 500 equals $1.7 million. If I had bought Amazon, if I had bought 500 shares of Amazon in 2000 with my $1,000, I would have 1.7 million today. All right? You hear me? So, don't put money in a saving account. Put your $1,000 in the stock market. Put some money in the saving account for emergency, but how many emergencies do you need? You should not have too much money in savings. Short emergencies. Short emergencies, not large emergencies. Short emergencies, and put the rest in a Roth IRA first. Fill that up to $6,000. Master saving $6,000. Then after you do your Roth IRA, then you can go and do your Robinhood and all your pretty beautiful other stuff. Right? $1,000 for a CD, $100 I would have got. It would have been. I ended up with $1,100. That same $1,000 in 2000, 1.7 million. Hope you understand. Don't save in a savings account. See you guys. Have a good day.